My next guest is the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me again.
You know, the message coming from the Democrats and the media is you don't know how good it is, and you don't know how good you have it. Now, it's true, and I'm not trying to insult anyone when I say this. Look, a lot of people might not understand the complexity of how we get inflation, how the Federal Reserve buys debt without actually having any money in the bank, but they see it in the receipt, right? All of the noise from this campaign, they look down at the price of groceries or at the pump, and they know things are artificially more expensive. It doesn't matter if they know how they are, they know that they are.
Yeah, they've done this gaslighting strategy for a couple of years now. They just keep telling us the economy's great. Look at these economic numbers. They're fantastic. Why are you guys upset? The poll numbers obviously tell a very, very different story. People don't like this economy, not just Republicans, Democrats, independents, you name it. And we see the economic data that they seem to turn a blind eye to. The fact that credit card debt right now, well over $1 trillion, the highest it's ever been in this country. And interest rates are extraordinarily high, too. So just making those minimum payments, very, very difficult. A lot of people are just staying above water. In fact, some people are slipping below water as we see credit card delinquencies and delinquencies on other types of debt increase. People aren't able to pay their bills. They're using debt to finance their regular expenses. It's a real mess out there, and the gaslighting isn't working.
Yeah, if inflation was low, manageable, low, and people and wages were rising, and people were using credit to, let's say, buy a boat or a motorcycle or an ATV or take extended vacations, then you'd say, yeah, consumer confidence is up. People are buying, these big ticket items, and they're paying them off over time. But it's buy now, pay later. Most people don't walk into a motorcycle shop and just say, sell me the motorcycle and here's cash, right? You tend to buy those things on credit. When people are buying eggs, bacon, bread, milk, orange juice, ground beef on credit because they don't have the money to go to the grocery store, and then interest is piling up, that's really bad.
It's really bad, and it creates not just short-term problems, but really long-term problems that are going to affect the entire country as we see more people have credit card delinquencies and, again, delinquencies and other types of debt. That their credit scores are going to take a hit. So they're going to be in a poor position even after this mess clears out, even after the economy improves, when they want to go buy a home, purchase an automobile or whatever. Their credit worthiness is not going to be what it otherwise would be. On top of that, as we've seen debt climb, savings has plummeted. Our national savings rate is far lower than it was before the pandemic. So you look at the long-term health of the country, as people move into retirement, they're not going to have that nest egg that they otherwise would have to rely upon. They're going to be more reliant on government programs, or they're going to be eating cat food or some other sort of horrible scenario. It's a real mess, and it's bigger than just over the next couple years, the storm that we're facing right now.
The worst part of it is that it's like a heroin addiction. If you leave the needle in, you'll die. If you take the needle out, you'll die. You've got Biden offering another $7.7 billion in student loan forgiveness. And Karine Jean-Pierre will say, well, that helps these people because now they'll have more money to spend in the economy. Yeah, but you're forgetting the people that actually pay the bill. Billing people who didn't go to college for people who did go to college doesn't help the people who didn't go to college and don't have any student loans, but are now paying higher prices because of inflation.
Yeah, and guess what? When people go out and spend more money, it can increase inflation more. So these student loan forgiveness programs have been shown by economists to drive up inflation. And really, what bothers me much more than that is the economic fairness. It sends a horrible message to people that if you happen to be some of the chosen few handpicked by this administration, you can, get your debts paid off or forgiven, whereas a lot of hardworking people who did the right thing, who didn't go out and spend extravagantly, go on vacations, make big purchases, instead focused on paying their student debt, well, they don't get jack. Those people are hosed. And that really, really angers a lot of Americans who have made those sacrifices.
And we're talking about people that could have advanced degrees. They could have a six-figure income, and have an advanced degree. And now the people who don't have a six-figure income are going to end up, the part of going to college and taking on the debt is the expectation that you're going to get a job, commensurate to you're going to get a job that's going to allow you to pay back that debt. Not that somebody's going to pay it for you. You just have more happy fun time money. But isn't it funny the gift we're giving to people in the upper middle class at the expense of working class people?
Yeah, and even attempts to means test this or reduce the benefits to just lower income people are really short sighted because people that aren't making that much money today, guess what? If they have a medical degree or they have a JD or they're about to get one of those degrees, you fast forward 5 years, 10 years down the road, there's a good chance those people are making six-figure salaries. They might be making $500,000 a year. They get their debt forgiven now when they're not making quite as much. But the long-term path for these people is one of economic prosperity, yet they're getting benefits paid for by taxpayers of all stripes, even people that are just barely getting by in this economy. It's tremendously unfair.
And the best part of it is, all those people chanting, from the river to the sea and we are Hamas and taking over college campuses, those are the people you're going to be bailing out if this goes through, right? Because, of course, we all think it's our job to bail out a graduate at Columbia who studied underwater basket weaving and bisexual Asian studies.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just maddening to see some of the activities on campus these days, and even worse when you realize the financial implications we're going to be on the hook for. It's a mess.
All right. If I don't speak to you, have a good long weekend.
Thank you. You do the same.